So, Graz und Darts Open 2018 und wir freuen uns auf die aktuelle Nummer 36 der Welt. Er ist der aktuelle World Youth Champion, hat eine tolle Weltmeisterschaft im Alley Pally bestritten, das Viertelfinale dort erreicht. Aus Belgien der Dreammaker Dimitri van den Bergh. Im Tanzen macht ihm kaum einer was vor, auch nicht sein aktueller Gegner. Das ist die Nummer 3 der Welt. Ladies and Gentlemen, das ist der aktuelle Weltmeister Voltage, Rob Cross.
Final game of the night, and even though the PA system can't handle it, this could be a belter. The world champion against the world youth champion. We saw these two clash at Ali Pali in a classic. Every game that Rob Cross was involved in that debut campaign at Alexandra Palace seemed to be a belter. And this one was a beaut. Cross in command for so much of it. Dimitri van den Bergh came back at him with a series of huge scores, and it took enormous guts from Voltage to close it out with some clutch finishing right at the death to deny Dimitri van den Bergh a place in the semis. Of course, Rob Cross then went on and won the World Championship at his first attempt. But since then, he has not picked up another title, even though he is challenging right at the top end of the Premier League, even though his averages have been very, very impressive. From the Players' Championship series of events, nobody has a higher first 9 dart average than Rob Cross. It's nearly 111. That means after 3 visits to the board, he's leaving himself a finish. That is incredible. And it is very, very difficult to live with. Can Dimitri van den Bergh live with it tonight? And can he produce an upset in the final game of the second round at the German Darts Open? Mike Lawrence alongside me, Dan Dawson. For the last game of the evening, it's Voltage versus the Dreammaker.
Yes, looking forward to this one. Again, saving one of the best till last. We've seen some fantastic matches tonight.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Dimitri to throw first. Game on.
And the third round lineup will be complete after this one. The winner taking on Darren Webster, who looked in very good form right at the start of the day here this afternoon. And Rob Cross,
57,
a 2-time European Tour finalist, while he was making his way towards that World Championship win at the start of this year, beaten by MVG in both Mannheim and Göttingen.
95.
Yeah, separate half of the draw from MVG as well, so it could well be a Rob Cross Van Gerwen final. In fact, with the demise of Peter Wright tonight at the hands of Max Hopp, the seedings suggest that that would be our final, but obviously you can't take anything for granted on the Euro Tour, particularly seeing as Rob Cross has only made last 16 and then a quarter-final in the first 2 Euro Tours of the year. And literally seconds before we walked on there,
100.
First 180 and it comes from the world champ. Yeah, seconds before he walked on there, he just said to us, you know, when you're in the Premier League, and it's new experience for him, that's what you do focus on, and you can lose sight of everything else.
139.
Yes, you mentioned the same about Daryl Gurney. Of course, Daryl Gurney's also had the birth of a child, which must, you know, take away some of your focus, understandably. But
83.
And we've been talking through the night about the development tour going on and the challenge tour, the routes onto the main tour players have now, and any player up and coming or who fancies picking up a set of darts only has to look at the Rob Cross story.
83. Rob, you require 143.
From the last couple of years, culminating in his life being turned upside down that January night, winning the World Championship on debut.
83. Dimitri, you require 97.
Beating some bloke called Phil. He could go double-double, but I don't think he's going to. Or is he? He's having to think. No.
57.
Well, in that situation, I think
Robbie
double-double's a smart
requires
shot.
60.
You can go double 19 for double top. Because it's got to go. World champion, 2 darts for the leg. You're expecting he's going to take one of them out.
So a chance for an early break then. He slide it in, he can indeed.
The first leg, Rob Cross. Second leg, Rob to throw first.
So break of
Game
throw
on.
early doors for Rob Cross. The third round lineup. Already some mouth-watering clashes tomorrow afternoon from 1 o'clock here in Germany.
40.
Michael Van Gerwen against Alan Tabben. Dave Chisnell against Ian White. Daryl Gurney against Mervyn King. Michael Smith against Jelle Klassen. Max Hopp, who, as we mentioned, dumped out Peter Wright, taking on
60.
Benito van der Pas. Joe Cullen against Daniel Larsson, the Swedish player who had a walkover after the exit of, or the withdrawal, I should say, of Simon Whitlock due to
38.
illness. Mensah Sulovic against Gerwin Price. And then the winner of this one against Darren Webster. Some real eye-catching ties there tomorrow afternoon in the third round of this German Darts Open.
It does look a little bit
42.
top-heavy, that draw, doesn't it? With Van Gerwen's half, you've got 7 seeded players making it through, with Tabben the only one who's an unseeded player. But you've got Euro Tour winners in Van Gerwen, Chisnell, Michael Smith,
140.
Mervyn King, Ian White, who's made a final before, Jelle Klassen, who, you know, for a while was incredible on the European Tour.
140.
Whereas the bottom half, you've got 2 unseeded players. Benito van der Pas, who's out of form and lucky to be here. Only 1 former winner on the Euro Tour in Mensah Sulovic in that half of the draw.
139.
Although Darren Webster did average 104, and it's Webster who awaits the winner of this one. 144 left for Rob Cross. And Rob Cross,
95.
I think he's going to go on the 18s route here.
144.
Usually does.
108. Dimitri, you require 164.
So a big finish to get the crowd back on their feet. One of the final times of the evening. Fantastic crowd.
60. Rob, you require
Fantastic
30
support for
seconds.
these players. And a lot of them, I'm sure, will be back tomorrow. It will be another full house here. As Rob Cross looks for double 9 now, having to switch. And no
Game
messing.
on the second
A
leg.
2-0
Rob
lead.
Cross, select Dimitri to throw first. Game on.
And as you mentioned, Rob Cross looking very good indeed on his Premier League debut. The reward for that
59.
run to the World Championship win at the turn of the year.
You know, Rob Cross, he lost his first 2 games in the Premier League, and people were wondering whether he was going to struggle. He's only lost 1 since.
180.
As he bangs in his second maximum of the match.
92. 100. $140.
Under pressure on his own throw already, Dimitri van den Bergh in this leg. And even though he has come close to Rob Cross in their previous
57.
meetings, obviously the World Championship went to a deciding set. They have met twice this year already, once in the UK Open qualifiers. Rob won it, but it took a deciding leg there. In Barnsley
60.
last month, it was a 6-3
Rob, you
win
require
for Rob
164.
Cross. So Dimitri's not been getting trounced by the world champion at all. He's not going to take out the 164, Rob Cross.
57.
And he get a
Dimitri,
leg on the
you require
board with a
150.
150. Tall order. It's certainly doable, but not on this occasion. So Rob Cross will be back to
60.
take out
Rob, you
107.
require 107.
To put himself halfway towards a place in round 3.
Level 16. Leaves double top. Old Rob Cross pause, wipe his hand.
Game
And hit the
from
target.
the third leg. Rob Cross.
We have seen that many
Leg, Rob,
times.
to throw first.
Now, Dimitri
on.
found himself 3-0 up in his first round game against Willie O'Connor. He's playing some really good stuff, but Willie just out of nowhere upped his game, played some fantastic stuff for 3.5 legs. Missed the dart to go 4-3 up. And once he did, then Dimitri once again just clicked into gear, won it 6-3. Dimitri has to do what Willie O'Connor did to him and just find another gear, because at the minute he is just not at the races. We talked about Rob Cross's first 9 average on the Pro Tour and the Players' Championship events being better than anyone, better than Anderson, better than Van Gerwen, better than Chizzy, better than anybody.
59.
And he's just thrown a 59, but even so, it was a 59 that followed a 180. And he's got a very realistic chance here, Rob Cross, of leaving himself a finish after 3 visits to the board. And if you're doing that, you're constantly putting your opponent under pressure.
Yes, it was a 1-4-0 outshot, 140 for Dimitri to seal that win against Willie O'Connor. And he could do with hitting some big outshots if he's to come back with Cross down to 82 after 9. 2 ton 80s hit in this
86. Robbie
leg for the
requiring
Englishman.
82.
Well, Dimitri could do with getting to some finishes, let alone getting some darts. Because at the minute, he's being left in Rob Cross's wake.
42.
They're the darts at double you can afford to miss when your opponent's only halfway down from 501.
$140. Robbie required 40.
So a ton 40, just putting a little bit of pressure but on Rob Cross, but he's not looked to be phased as he'll look to slide in yet again after that first marker.
Dimitri to throw first. Game on.
And just one-way traffic at the moment.
$100.
Dimitri coming through the European qualifiers
137.
here on Thursday night. To book his place in that first round draw
60.
where he took on Willie O'Connor.
And Dimitri's been no slouch in the Pro Tour this year as well. He perhaps hasn't had, any massively eye-catching
96.
runs. He did have a quarter-final in Milton Keynes. That's the only quarter-final he's had since the World Championship quarter-final. But when you look at the averages, Dimitri's in the top 10. He's number 8 on the list.
96.
Which, averaging 96.2 over almost 20 games of darts. I mean, that's higher than Wade, Gurney, Peter Wright, Barney, Mensah. All of these elite level players.
134.
but Dimitri has blossomed into a very, very dangerous senior player. And he can still play development tour, Dimitri. He's young enough. This will be his last year on the development tour, so he could attain his World Youth Champion title at the end of this year, theoretically.
Yeah, it's just 23 years old.
97. Rob, you require 134. '98.
98 leaves the double 18 that Rob Cross is very, very fond of, although he hasn't hit it yet in this match. He's going to get a chance to hit it.
Yeah, it's no big outshot on this occasion for Dimitri.
56. Rob, you require 36.
So looking again at that double 18 then for 5-0.
Game shot the 5th leg. Rob Cross. 6th leg.
And a break of throw. Rob throwing for the game.
Game on.
Dimitri facing a whitewash here, unless the fortunes of both players change dramatically in the next couple of minutes.
43.
Yeah, well, it's a case of Rob Cross going along at that 100 average, and those winning legs there you see, there's everything's
100.
in 5 visits to the board apart from that 17 darter. Now, the thing is, he's broken throw with 2 15s and a 13, which means that Dimitri has already thrown 15 darts in those legs. Now, Dimitri knows that's not good enough. You're taking on the world champion, the world number 3, and a guy who is just relentless. And he's just not putting himself in a position to win those legs. He's not even missed darts at double in those legs. And that's why he's averaging in the high 80s rather than in the high 90s, which is what we're used to seeing from Dimitri over the last few months. And it is why he might be about to get the heftiest defeat that he's ever had against Rob Cross. He's run him close at the World Championship, ran him close twice this year on the Pro Tour. Well, reasonably close. Certainly closer than it's been tonight. Because this is going to be a perfect setup shot, isn't it?
162.
Right on cue, Dan.
170.
Hitting everything. And back for double 8. Job done in quick time.
58. Rob, you
The
require
world champion has denied the world youth champion a single dart at double in this match. It has been an exhibition of flawless scoring and magical finishing. Voltage has put on a show for this Saarbrücken crowd to end the second day of action at the German Darts Open. He powers in to the last 16, which will be played tomorrow afternoon. Darren Webster, the man who awaits, both men averaging 103, or in excess of 103 in their games today. Webster to start off the day and Rob Cross to finish it. What a game of darts that is going to be. We'll grab a few words with Rob Cross, who completes the action for day 2 here at the German Darts Open. And he may well be on his way to his first title of 2018 and his first European Tour crown. We'll see you tomorrow for the final day of action, when somebody will walk away with the title and £25,000.
So, Rob, for me, I always think it's the most difficult match to have the last one. But you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I always get graveyard. Graveyard shift. That's what I've learned to call it now. I think, yeah, last couple of times or something. So, no, it's okay. I'm getting used to it. And in fairness, I think this week I feel really fresh. I feel ready.
Okay. Average of 104. I mean, last time quarterfinal, or one of the 2 European events was the quarterfinal. Next step.
Struggled. No, yeah, quarterfinal last time, not too bad. but they only remember the winner, and that's the thing. So, no, this week I'm going to play well. I'm going to play well this weekend. I feel fresh enough. I feel ready to go, and the darts are going well. So, with a combination like that, we'll walk out Sunday with a trophy.
That's cool. Sounds good. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Rob Cross. Das hört man von ihm auch gar nicht so oft, dass er sagt, läuft gut, fühle mich gut, bin frisch. Das war in den letzten Wochen nicht so. Ich glaube, hier könnte etwas gehen in Saarbrücken.